Hey guys, I've got something incredible to show you that I actually only found out about recently. It's something that I saw on Instagram, and I swear I think my heart was probably racing a million miles a minute because I haven't seen anything really like this before. Maybe I'm hyping it a little too much. I have seen a lot of people go out of their way, myself included, in sort of working on their own custom Bionicle or robot or just building systems, right? There are many creators who have done this themselves, and I think it's an honestly fantastic thing to do. But what I saw today kind of struck me because it was so different from everything else I'd seen before, and yet so familiar. Let me go ahead and show you, well, this right here. I'm going to show you a couple of images today. I don't want to spoil it too much because I'm actually talking to this creator right now to try and actually get an interview on this channel. I want to talk about how they came up with this idea, their inspirations, not just the obvious inspirations in something like Bionicle, although I don't know if they ever mention it specifically by name, but also there's just so many things that I want to know when I see these characters. It's fascinating to me. Now, these right here are 3D printed and I think to good effect, but as far as I'm aware, at the very least, they actually plan on bringing this to Kickstarter. For what, means from there, if it's going to go into production, whatever their goals may be, I'm leaving that to them. I want to find out about it more with you guys. So I don't want to spoil myself on the topic, and I don't want to spoil you guys on the topic, but just generally speaking, looking at this feels incredible. It feels like, here's the thing. When I describe Bionicle, I describe it as lightning in a bottle because it kind of is. It's one of those magical things that it feels like you can only really capture once. As much as I go out of my way to build things in a classic building style, in the style that resonates with me the most, and as I continue to hone my skills, I still never feel like I've totally captured that lightning once again. It's always fleeting. It's always just out of reach. And even with new iterations of Bionicle and little teaser projects or ideas or even products from LEGO themselves, as novel as these seem to me, they never quite reach the potential that I would want them to. Because when I see Bionicle, I always think back to the early 2000s, a time which I cannot relive. But when I look at these characters, a part of that feels like it's here again. There's a subtle simplicity in the designs, very obvious sort of inspiration with them as well. I think it's clear that these are inspired, at least in part, by Bionicle, but other themes as well. It's not just Bionicle that I see here. Obviously, Knight's Kingdom, if you still want to pay attention to LEGO, but even themes outside of LEGO as well, ones that I've wanted to talk about in other videos coming in the future. But when I look at these, there's a beautiful simplicity to them. The thing that's crazy about Bionicle, about how it came about, how we got the product that we got, and let me go ahead and just show you another image so you can see even combination models supported through something like this. It's absolutely incredible what they've been able to do so far, right? But it's worth noting too that with these models, I am reminded of Bionicle's evolution, not just its first wave, but where it was able to go. Because what's fascinating about this is it feels like I'm watching the birth of a system that I've seen before, that I know where it's going to go, but I don't. This is new to me, to everybody else out there, so I don't know where it goes from here. And there's something magical about that. There's an air of mystery that's real mystery here, right? The mystery of Bionicle has been solved for me for the most part. I know what happens in 2001 through 2003. Those might be my favorite years from Bionicle as a series because when I lived them back in the day, I didn't know. The mystery was still new and still unfolding, unraveling in front of my eyes. But this one here, it's still here. Right? Because I don't know, are these the good guys? Are these the bad guys? Are they neutral? Is it more complicated than that? I don't know anything about a story that follows these characters along, but I want to. I want to see these characters travel. I want to build them. I want to sit in a coffee house or a McDonald's or something somewhere at a table and just build one of these characters. And they've even proposed the idea of like little Happy Meal sets as well, which I find goddamn adorable. Because you all know how much I love the original McDonald's Matoran as well, and how I think that those are some of the best toys we ever got, not only from well, Bionicle generally, but also from McDonald's too, as a Happy Meal toy. An incredible piece of history. Let's go ahead and look at another one here, because you've got, of course, Tahu, the wonderful little guy here as well. I mean, not named Tahu. In fact, I think the name was, I'm not going to remember it, unfortunately. But that said, I think that this is fascinating. This one right here is, the idea is that this is for Kickstarters, as an exclusive model, as an incentive, if you will. And rightfully so. It's a neat little build, of course. I can even see some eye color in there, and it comes with 2 masks as well as a swappable central chest. And I think it's lovely, too, that this system is near entirely built around ball joints. Now, I know that there are a lot of people who are going to ask the questions I want to ask. Are these compatible with Lego? Or are they Lego-sized ball joints or bar connections, whatever the case may be? But what I see here is a lack of Lego connections. No axles, no pins, no studs, no anti-studs. Maybe the ball joint, I don't know. Maybe the bar size, I don't know. I don't know the scale even of these characters. But I think that's part of the fun, part of the charm, honestly. I have to imagine to some degree that these are reasonably large since they are 3D printed, and 3D printing sockets can be notoriously frail, but it's still special. Special in my opinion, hopefully to you guys too. So again, I am extremely excited to interview this creator. Hopefully that stays true, because I'm loving it, man. McDonald's thing, I guess, whatever. So yeah, generally speaking, I don't have a set time, because of course I want to work with this creator and with whatever time frame works for them. But I'm hoping you guys can expect somewhere between 30-45 minutes of just a laid back, interview between myself, this creator, whoever else may be involved with the inception of this, if anybody else is, or if this is the brainchild of just one individual. But again, I highly recommend, if you are on Instagram, to go ahead and check out Medieval Toys, which I think is a lovely name as well, if I've pronounced it right. And yeah, they just look wonderful. Like, truly wonderful. The green and yellow is a classic color scheme, in my opinion. The purple and white is sort of a lightning color scheme, though I don't know the elements of any of these characters. You've, of course, got blue and sort of like a light gray or a silver-ish color here. You've got dark gray and red, and, of course, black and tan as well, which I think also leads me to really loving this character, too, since black, tan, dark gray, red is the classic color scheme of the original combination models from Bionicle all the way back in 2001. And it's special. Before I end this video, though, I wanted to go ahead and just show this really quickly as I continue to work on this model here, because this is now fully buildable. Fully buildable in the sense that, no, these colors don't exist, but all the pieces used here now exist. It is using solely parts from Lego's catalog. So you won't find any of my own custom pieces in here. Took a little bit of refining in order to make that work. Also took some refining to allow this leg to actually fold into the inside of the build itself, to actually hollow things out appropriately for it. Now, of course, I have not built this in real life. I would need to fix up plenty of other little issues that I would run into with this, notably, what is driving the function of this back leg? What is it connected to? At the moment, nothing. I mean, it's connected to an axle, so it's definitely connected to the model, but it's not driven by any function. It's not locked in place by anything as of yet, since I don't have those pieces in hand. And I would rather do that sort of finessing, that fine detailing with parts like these in my hand. Not buildable in these colors, of course, because we do not have many of these pieces in brown or in dark bluish gray, but actually we do have a decent amount of these pieces available in yellow or Keat orange, which I find quite fascinating as well. So it's kind of almost buildable in Keat orange and yellow, and I just think that that's adorable. I'm so happy with it. It's 414 pieces as of right now, and yes, it is a little bit bulky for a Droideka, but at the same time, I don't care. It looks cool, And I'm, again, not a super Star Wars fan, so in terms of the source material, I'm just going off of images I find online, and also finding something that I think feels appropriate given what I see in front of me here. This set feels phenomenal. It feels like it could be a real thing, and so, yeah, that's the main goal, right? If you watched the most recent video, then you know that this can also roll into a ball, or rather, it can be folded into a ball. That's an important distinction, since it doesn't do the rolling itself. You would have to manually place it in that position. But hey, I mean, it's still pretty cool, damn it. So, yeah, the head is a decent amount more accurate, as well as being on these sort of palm connections here, so it can actually pivot side to side, which I think is kind of cool, and even pivot down and up a little bit, although on a friction pin back here might be a little too much friction. Still, neat idea nonetheless. And interestingly, I'm not sure how this happened, but I must have moved the head without grabbing these parts, because they have been moved down a little bit. So let me go ahead and move those up and move them back. And I think that's it right there. Well, that's pretty close. Close enough for the sake of this. There's some other pieces I'll have to fix too. I must have moved something. Anyway, that's basically it for this video though, guys. If you did enjoy this one, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel big time. And of course, as always, you can check out the links for Instagram, Discord, and Patreon down in the description below. I will try and link Motivol's Instagram down in the description too, so you can check that one out. And I think they also have a website called like Lazy Robots, but don't quote me on that. I'm just learning this stuff myself right now. So yeah, real excited for it. Hope you're having a great day. Take care.